This just in. George Soros, trustworthy guy, endorses Ron DeSantis. What does this mean? Hello there, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants. And maybe on that Mount Rushmore is our good friend, Mr. George Soros. Take a quick trip back memory lane before we get to his endorsing Ron DeSantis. If you don't remember, back in Nazi Germany, George Soros, who's approximately 189 years old, he helped the Nazis take possessions from the Jewish folks. So I don't think the apple has fallen too far from the tree from which he sprang. I don't know. But nonetheless, news came out recently with headlines like, George Soros endorses Ron DeSantis. Is this the kiss of death for Ron DeSantis? Share with you in a second what my view is. Do I think this effectively, if it negatively or positively affects Ron DeSantis? But first, here's the context of what Mr. Soros said about Ron DeSantis. So this is the Gateway Pundit reporting on the Washington Examiner, and now I'm reporting on what the Gateway Pundit reported from the Washington Examiner. This is 12th-hand information, incredibly accurate. But it's a quote, so in theory it is accurate. So what Soros said about DeSantis is shrewd, ruthless, and ambitious, adding he is likely the Republican candidate. Also worth noting, Soros went on to say about Trump, who he doesn't like. He says, Trump has turned into a pitiful figure, continually bemoaning his loss in 2020. Big Republican donors are abandoning him in droves, Soros said. So those who care to speculate are looking at this like, whoa, Soros just endorsed Ron DeSantis. That is like the kiss of death for Ron DeSantis, because everybody knows George Soros is less than savory. So if George Soros, who is not only, I guess, a Democrat, he's a communist, but he is far left. For him to endorse a Republican candidate, other Republicans could inherently look at that and say like, oh, dude, Soros is behind him. I don't want to touch that candidate. Like, he not getting my vote. So here's the deal. In truth, I don't think this is an endorsement. I'll tell you what I think, even if it was an endorsement. But in truth, I don't think this is an endorsement. I think George Soros was saying words through his gargly, like demonic sounding voice, and he was comparing DeSantis to Trump, and he literally said DeSantis is shrewd, ruthless, and ambitious. I think he's going to be the Republican candidate. I think it's taken incredibly out of context to interpret that as George Soros is endorsing Ron DeSantis, because it makes people think like, oh, Ron DeSantis behind the scenes, he's connected to Soros, like he is an evil guy. He appears to be awesome, but he is an evil guy. So I think it's very inaccurate to take this as an endorsement from George Soros. But let's just speculate. What if Soros meant this as an endorsement? Why would he be endorsing Ron DeSantis? Well, if he was, I would dare say the guy might be evil, but he's not stupid. If he wanted to like flush a candidate down the toilet on the Republican side, the best thing he could do is endorse him. So he knows the Republicans, he knows like most people who don't buy into his evil propaganda view him as an evil person. So if he wanted to make someone look bad, he would know, oh, dude, I just need to endorse them. So one could actually look at, if it was a genuine endorsement, it would be maybe a good thing for Ron DeSantis, because people would know like, oh, Soros knows he has an evil effect. Everything he touches turns to decaying crap. So the fact that he's endorsing Ron DeSantis, that probably means that he fears Ron DeSantis the most. Therefore, he's endorsing him to make him look bad. I'm just speculating here. So I would say, who knows what's really going on with what Soros's intentions are. I don't even know if he has enough heart to have actual intentionality, but I don't personally interpret Soros's words and all the headlines surrounding him. I don't interpret it as anything legitimate about Ron DeSantis. I think there's an extremely low likelihood that Ron DeSantis is at all connected to and influenced by George Soros. In fact, I truly believe it's just the opposite. I believe Soros is very threatened by Ron DeSantis. Soros might not like Trump, but I think he's also very threatened by Ron DeSantis. Why do I say that? Back in August, Ron DeSantis suspended a Soros-backed state attorney for Florida. Why'd he do that? Because the state attorney was not enforcing the law. George Soros gives major funding to different district attorneys around the country, far left guy. Why does he do that? He's creating a soft on crime atmosphere. If you want to destroy a country, one of the things you need to do is up-level the criminal activity. One of the ways you do that is make crime basically not a crime anymore. Soft on crime approaches, which essentially incentivizes criminal activity because there's no real consequences. Soros-backed district attorneys, state attorneys have become very infamous for being soft on crime. No coincidences there. And the state attorney for Florida is no different. He wasn't prosecuting crimes the way he is supposed to by law. So Ron DeSantis suspended this guy from office. I would dare say Soros sees Ron DeSantis as a threat because Ron DeSantis has actually taken down Soros-backed activity by upholding the law and not letting soft on crime, like we're not going to enforce the law, which is kind of illegal to do, not letting that infiltrate Florida. As our friend Ron DeSantis has once said, Florida is where woke goes to die. So I see there's headlines out there about Soros backing DeSantis. I personally believe those headlines are geared around just trying to make Ron DeSantis look bad, because the side that's writing these headlines are unfortunately on Soros' side. By the way, Soros could even be funding those media outlets. I don't know that for sure, but I know he does a lot of funding of propaganda. I think it's just all a part of an orchestrated smear attempt with Ron DeSantis, trying to make it appear as though he's connected to one of the biggest villains of our time, Mr. Soros. That's my opinion on the matter. And with that said, my dear freedom-loving friend, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you'd like to check out any of the latest freedom merch, feel free to hit me up at awakenwithjp.com. Check out all the latest freedom-loving designs. And if you choose to, great. Thank you for supporting me and my family. And if not, I love you anyway, and I'll see you right back here on this channel for our next video.